You're listening to the 1223 podcast with Bernard Pollard and Kerry Williams.
What's up, y'all? Hope everybody having a good day. Good day. Kerry, what's up, brother?
Ain't nothing, man. How you, bro?
Man, I'm dude, it's like it's always something with us. We've been in Louisville, I always say Louisville or Louisville. We've been in Louisville all weekend.
You've been in Tennessee
volleyball.
too long, bro.
I know, right? So we've been in Louisville for volleyball all weekend. Finally got back, kind of getting relaxed a little bit. Still training my USFL guys who actually they leave off after this week. So, dude, I'm rolling, brother. I'm rolling. I'm trying to keep it together, but I'm rolling. What you up to?
That's what's up, man. Amari just had her district track qualifying meet last night.
How my baby do?
Yeah, she qualified for the 110 hurdles. So, you know, this is her first year running hurdles, man. First year doing 300 hurdles. She didn't qualify for that event. But it's good to see her out there competing, man, and just accepting the challenges, man.
Hey, that's what's up, boy. Hey, I'm super excited. Tell her congratulations. So I know y'all happy. We happy. Man. Dude,
how'd y'all do in the tournament?
Brother, I was trying to push
because you just glossed over that, bro.
You know me too well. So, dude, you know what? It's one of those things, man. Volleyball, you know, we're out in Louisville, and they played at like 2 or 3 different locations. They played at the convention center, right by the airport in Louisville, and that was, I think, 135 courts at the convention center. It was massive. I think we averaged a little over 12 to 14,000 steps a day. Being there, walking from court to court, and it was really neat. I was able to see my sister-in-law, my niece. They came in, so it was teams from Indiana, Canada, Michigan, Georgia, every freaking where, man. And to see,
that's awesome,
dude. It was amazing to see these women play, these young girls play, man. It was phenomenal. The parents was out there, the college scouts, brother, from everywhere. Literally everywhere. They were out there. Teams of girls that was the shortest girl, I think, might have been 6 feet. Everybody else 6'3", 6'6", 6'7". I mean, and the parents, dad 6'10".
These are high school girls now, right?
High school, bruh. High school and middle school. And they had a couple, I think it was middle school all the way up to high school. But dude, I mean, I'm talking about these women playing above the net, and I'm talking about girls getting 6-packed in the face. My niece actually 6-packed the girl in the face, and but no, it was fun. I'm the team photographer. I've been doing photography and videography, so I'm the team photographer, and just had a blast taking pictures and getting those to the girls. But yeah, we finished okay. We played hard. We got a couple girls out. My daughter was actually out. Another girl out with a broken finger, and we just had a girl break a foot. All these doggone injuries. I ain't never seen this before, bro. Like, I'm like, Doug, how are y'all breaking stuff and y'all in the 7th grade? But nevertheless, you know, we played hard. We went 3-1 the first on Saturday, and then we turned around and went, I want to say, 0-2 on Sunday, and that ended us quick. Megan's team did really well. She coaches the 11s, if I'm not mistaken. She coaches the 11s, and they played hard, but man, it was just the talent was off the charts. And so yeah, man, so I was able to get home and I watched some NASCAR. We're gonna talk a little NASCAR
all right
in the future, but and then you going to a race. We're gonna go to a race in August. Yeah, so I'm excited about that one. We're gonna be in Detroit. So yeah, man, so we gonna talk. I got back, watched the race in NASCAR or watched race in Vegas. I'm sorry. So I watched a race in Vegas and had a blast watching that, and to see William Byron bring that thing home. Hendrick's car, they finished 1, 2, and 3. So man, it was awesome. But talking football, man, we're gonna talk some ball. The combine has been going on, and for me, I always forget when the combine going on. I pay attention, but I don't pay attention. Jalen was telling me about the cornerbacks going through drills. Dog, you know, watching this. What when you look at these combine results, and we hear all the people talking, we hear what they're saying, and you know, I look at it and I'm just like, okay, this is neat. when you look at these players, they obviously we've been there. You didn't go to the combine.
No, I was not blessed with that opportunity to go to the combine.
You say
I'm
it
a
like
Division
that.
II player, brother, that was not given much respect coming out.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
I had to go the hard way.
Okay. So you worked out at a pro day.
Yeah.
I went to the combine, and
Mhm.
I just look at it, man, and these players, for all of us, and even working out for a pro day, we have trained, we have tried to master a drill and techniques to help us move faster, in shorts and t-shirts.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
when you look at that, like, what are your thoughts? Because obviously, we're able to look back and to look at all of the combine results. And what do you see with that? Who stood out to you? Who have you been hearing them talk about? Like, who do you think is got bust written all over them? Who do you think is going to just be outstanding, or are you kind of neutral? You just kind of waiting to see?
I feel like I'm neutral, man,
Okay.
for the most part, because at the end of the day, you out there in shorts and
Right.
t-shirts, glorified underwear, and you're running fast 40s, you're jumping and doing a bunch of different drills that you would probably never have to do in the National Football League again.
Right.
I'm more into the specific defensive back drills, the specific wide receiver drills, getting in and out of cuts, catching the ball and things like that.
Right.
I don't really put too much weight on a 40-yard dash or a broad jump because, when you look at the history of it, it's do you need a 40 to be a great quarterback? Do you need a fast 40 to be a great quarterback? Do you need a fast 40 be a fast running back in order to be impactful on the field? I don't know. You know what I mean? I just think it's a lot of instinctive things that come into the game that people aren't necessarily paying attention to, but you hope that they go to these events and they perform really well and that'll correlate to results on the field. And it doesn't half the time to me.
Yeah. A lot of time. I agree.
So I'm a guy that, like I said, I went Division II, didn't get the opportunity to do those things. I'm kind of glad I didn't have to do those things because I didn't want to be objectified. I didn't want to go through that thing looking, I don't know, people. I already had a rough time in my experience in the recruiting process and the NFL process as is.
Bring it on up. Say it with your chest.
I mean, I remember scouts who never played the game. Trying to tell me about how I was a high school football player. Oh, you're a glorified high school football player. This isn't a real football. This is like, little high schoolers and you're dominating. You should do that. Thank you. I appreciate that. I should do it. I guess that's right. That's why a lot of people didn't end up in the position that I was in that I played with. A lot of people didn't end up in the position I was in that I played against.
Right.
But it's certain intangibles that you just can't see in a guy. You know what I mean? You can't just people don't interview well, people don't necessarily perform well at those events, but when you put on the tape, do they pop out?
Right.
And that's one thing you couldn't deny about my tape when I was at Division II. I popped out. I was the guy that was faster than everybody, and I showed to be faster than everybody.
Right.
And I made plays when necessary. So I think it's about the play on the field, and it's also about the tape, man, and just being able to be smooth in those transitions as a defensive back.
Dude, I mean, I agree 100% with everything that you said. I look at this, and I was a guy where I went to the combine, and I'm just kind of sitting there. I'm looking like, what in the world are we doing here? Why are we here for a couple
Don't you got to get up
days?
early in the morning too,
bro? I'm talking about early in the morning. I specifically
it messed your whole schedule up. Like,
bro, it was so bad in that, Carrie. We were in that, and literally, I remember one day we woke up. We had to put on shorts and shirt, and so we're walking around. We're in this. We had to walk over to the hospital or somewhere, and we're all in line, and we had to take off our shirts and things of that nature. And then we had to go in into a room where all 32 owners, the GMs, and the team doctors were just in a circle. We had to go in the middle. We had to bend over, do all this crazy stuff, and I'm like, what in the world? Like, bro, like. They can look
that's crazy, BP.
Bro, dog.
That's crazy. You got to bend over in front of a group of men.
Bend over, like I mean, they had like if they wanted to see certain things, they would have like if a team was looking at you, if you had injuries in college, they would lay you on this table and mess with your knee and move your foot and see your range of motion in your neck, whatever it may have been. And I remember doing that, and I'm just like, bro, like this is mad weird. Like, why am I here doing this? And then, I mean, even for the drills, and I ended up messing up my growing, and I ran a 4.5. I thought it was a 4.57, but they clocked me at a 4.59. But you know, I'm like, dang, give me my doggone time back. But nevertheless, it was just one of those things where, you know, you for me, I was told by all these teams I'm going to Miami in the first round. Didn't go to Miami, obviously, in the first round. Went to Kansas City in the second round. But just to go do all that, I broad jumped 10, 11, and I was fairly decent. I'm not a good test taker, so you know, to go perform at an event like this, that's just that wasn't me. I was a guy, like you just said, like it was tape for me. I was instinctive. I understood football. I knew where to be. I can lead on a football field. I just knew football.
Right.
And yes, I worked out, and I think some of these guys, you know, you train for so long, and you master these techniques, and then you know how to get a jump out on, you know, to come out and keep your hand down a little bit, but your lower body moving, and you keep your hand on the, you know, if you're dealing with the
little sneaky
40,
stuff,
right, little sneaky things that you can get away with, and it helps you, you know, to have a faster time. But you know, like you said, a lot of those guys, like, that didn't translate to the football field. You know,
how many of these guys that perform super well are Hall of Famers?
Yeah, I agree 100%.
It's rare. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, yeah.
Bro, I mean, if you look at it,
you got guys that's talented, but you know, at the end of the day, that's awesome to be athletic.
Right. And it's
if
amazing.
it don't translate over into the football field, then how good is the, you know, how good is all that?
I look at that.
What good does that do for you?
Well, I look at it too, and I'm like, okay, you know, it's awesome to see these players it's awesome to see them do well. It's awesome to see them go out there and to be able to run. And I'm a technique dude. When it came to the football stuff, my movement was fluid. I was flawless on my DB drills, because that's just what I do, right? Like all the running and stuff. Like if I don't have to run, like I'm looking at you. So as I evaluate a play during the play, I know how to speed up or slow down. So I wasn't good with the 40 and all that other stuff, like, because that's just not what I did. But, you know, like I said, with the football drills, I did well. And I look at it too, because in 2006, I look at a lot of guys that were drafted high. I mean, there are dudes that were drafted in the first round that you ain't ever heard of.
Yeah.
Like and you know, I look back at this. I look at the guys that perform well, and one of the guys to me that everybody's talking about, this kid Anthony Richardson, and you know, out of Florida, the quarterback, stupid athletic, stupid.
Phenomenal.
He put up crazy numbers. A 40, you know, his vertical
top
was a
5 in every category.
Top 5. I mean, 4.43, 4.43, 40. And you know, you look at all of this stuff, man, and I mean, he's a what, 10.9 broad jump. And so that all in theory is really cool. Like, I mean, that is awesome. You know, I look at this and I say, for this kid, I watched them play. And one of the games that I watched the entire game was when they played Florida State. I watched this game, and it's all about tape. And of course, we played. So, you know, a lot of fans going to say, oh, well, you hating. This is not hate. It's okay. We have an understanding of, yes, all of this stuff off the field is cool and dandy, but never will you ever just line up on the 5-yard line and just sprint all the way down the football field and never move. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't really run in line ever. Like football is a game of angles. So when you think about that, when you think about everything that's being done, you know, for Anthony Richardson, okay, yes, he can flick the ball from the 9-yard line to the opposite 35. Like, okay, when is he ever really going to be able to do that? You know, there's going to be pressure, there's going to be coverage, he's going to have to read defenses, things like that. And so it's awesome to see the things that he did. I think what's even more amazing, because like I said, to go back to it, I watched his game against Florida State. I've seen him here and there. I don't really watch a lot of college football because I can't stand college. It's just too much jig rig, offensively, defensively. It's just a lot of jig rig plays, jig rig movements. I just don't like it. But this kid not one time. I remember a text to my nephew who's at Florida State, and he recruits. He's in the recruiter department with Florida State. But I'm like, bro, I text him and I'm like, dog, like both of y'all quarterbacks are terrible. Florida State quarterback was awful, and Florida's quarterback was awful. When I look at what Anthony Richardson was doing, I'm looking like, bro, like the receiver has got to be dead smack wide open for him to see him, and then for him to throw it to him. That's how it's got to be for him. Yes, we all understand he can flick the ball and throw the ball, but at the end of the day, if it's not a controlled throw, if you're just out there winging it and everything else, that means nothing. And so when I see what everybody's doing, I personally, on one end, I'm gonna talk about both ends of my mouth. I don't like it, right? I'm like, okay, that makes no sense. I don't think this kid is a good player. I don't think he should be a top draft pick.
He is a good player, though.
Period.
He's a good player.
If I go off that game,
don't discredit this man who's been working his tail off and played such a
I'm going off that game. That game,
he's displayed so much great talent, man.
The great
and
talent,
ability.
Kerry, you can't look at his college. Look at him collegiately. He has really 1 year under his belt.
Yes, he's a project.
I'm not okay. Okay, so you're saying he's a project.
He's a project, but
he's not a great player right now. He's not a great player right now. Are you honestly gonna say he's a great player?
I think he has greatness in his ability. I think he shows some signs of greatness. Yes.
So okay, because he ran a fast 40, he broad jump 40.
Because of that,
I mean, a vertical 40.
I'm talking about his ingenuity in the pocket, his ability to escape danger. I'm talking about those type of extended plays. But that's great, and he also can lead receivers as well. He's shown that at times. He has not been the most consistent player, but he has greatness in that. He has greatness in his performances. Yes, he does. He's shown
so unbelievable stuff. But to look at what he's done in college. Right. So to look at what he's done in college, he wasn't even the best guy in the SEC.
Okay. And he's not a guy that you start immediately for an organization.
Okay. So okay.
To me. He's not a guy that's supposed to come in as a rookie and he's the man. He's not that guy.
So Kerry,
stand behind somebody that
if he's a top 5 draft pick, are you sitting him or are you playing him?
Top 5 draft pick. I would probably.
Ain't no probably.
I would probably sit him just because.
For what? He's a top 5 draft pick, Kerry. He's got to play.
Yeah, he'll play in time.
Kerry, he's a top 5 draft pick.
Yes, to me he can be. I don't think he's the top. I don't think he's the top quarterback that should be picked off the board. No question about that.
Okay, so
if somebody want to draft in the top 5, okay, go get him. If that's what you want to do, reach on him. But at the end of the day, I don't think he's an organization guy that he's a must need for an organization to start right now. I don't think that's what he is. I think he's a project guy.
So if you're top 5 draft pick, you're a must need.
I think he's a.
Are you not?
To each his own. To each organization, they have needs. To each organization, they have requirements. Like if he goes to Seattle.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I doubt he goes to Seattle.
I know they just paid him, but what I'm saying is he could sit behind Geno and learn. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying he can go into an organization and sit behind a quarterback and learn from that.
Okay, so this is this is where I was going to
develop. I mean, I think coaches need to get paid. Coaches get paid to do their jobs, right? Your job is to develop a guy, right? So if you see a guy,
how many college coaches develop? How many NFL coaches develop talent at the NFL level?
Well, they should be able to.
They should be able to, but that's why we see so many guys buzz.
And that's what we need to start looking at. Hey, the coaching position, man. Do you have the ability to develop these guys, to teach these guys, to groom these guys, and to be great? Because you can't continue to collect a check and not be able to do that.
Well, that's what they're doing.
Blame the players for their inability to do X, Y, Z. No, you need to start looking at. That's why coaches get fired all the time.
And that's true. So, but I mean, at the end of the day, I think that's another topic. But they're hiring. These coaches are hiring friends. But I want to go back to this. I was talking out both ends of my mouth. So what he did as far as at the college level, and that's where I come from when I say
He just has what 13
he has
14 starts.
he has I want to say
He
what
has a year
12
under his
20 he
belt.
got 24 games in college, 24 games under his belt. 24.
Okay. How many starts?
Four in 2020, 8 in 2021, 12 in 22. So when we look at this, Kerry, I'm saying collegiately, he wasn't even the best player in the SEC. Wasn't the best player in the SEC.
Okay.
I look at that and I go, okay.
He wasn't the best quarterback in the SEC.
Correct. And when I said player, so I meant quarterback. He wasn't the best quarterback in the SEC. I don't know if I don't even think he's the best quarterback in this draft. Like, so
no, I agree with that.
I'm looking at it from that angle, and I critique that and I talk about that, right? But then I want to push it to this angle. I want to say, because of what he's done, and if he is taken in a first round, I'm just gonna say first round, because according to his stats, from his collegiate stats, he shouldn't even be taken in the first round. But if he's even taken in the first round, and then let's push it to the top 5, this kid off of a combine has turned so, because I'm saying, for everybody who don't understand, when you come out for the NFL draft, you declare I declare it as a true junior, right? And you go through the process of trying to figure out who you're going to hire as agents. Okay, so when you go through that process, when you finally hire an agent, so you hire their team. So as you hire their team, you got, your media people, you got all of the people that kind of set you up, because when you go to the combine and you start training, for your drills, you start training for the Wonder League, you start training on the interviews and all this other stuff. This kid, as so many people have said, and I heard him communicate, so many people said this kid killed it. He killed it in the interview process. He's turning heads left and right. Obviously, on the field, he did some spectacular things and yes, we can argue all day long that there was no pressure on him. All he had to do was just go out and just go throw, go run, go be athletic, right? It's easy to throw a football when there's no pressure on you. It's easy to do all of that stuff. Like, for so many people saying he had all the pressure in the world on him. No, it's easy to go out there and do that when there's no pressure. You don't have a DB, you don't ball placement, you ain't got to worry about any of that stuff. I'm saying
the pressure was there for him to perform.
But he's
still
an athlete.
Pressure there. When you go to the combine, it's still pressure. You know what I mean?
It's still pressure.
You don't want to go out there and look terrible, man.
Right, I agree.
It's easy to do that, especially when you take into consideration what they put them guys through each and every day. So
correct. But I guess what I'm saying too, when I look at this, I'm like, this dude hired the right representation. His representation doing everything. They passed the test for the combine, right? If he does anything at the pro day, it's amazing. I think his pro day and he's going to get private workouts. I think his representation earned whatever percentage he gave them. If this kid get drafted in the top 5, they really, really, really earned it. They really earned it. And I mean,
would you say that he earned it?
No, I'm going to say he earned it. But I mean, I look at this and I say, this is what representation does for a player.
Okay.
They did their job because they prepared him as far as how to answer questions, right, how to carry himself, how to communicate, how to respond, how to, to go out there and throughout the process from January or end of December, January to this time at the combine, your pro day, everything else. If this kid get drafted in the top 5, this is what proper representation does for you. They get you ready, and I think it's amazing. And I say that, and a lot of people saying, well, why are you saying that? And I quickly want to jump to something real quick, and they can get mad. You can get mad or whatever, but this is Lamar Jackson. Representation. He's got to have representatives that's going to do the work and help. They're going to help you. I look at this kid and I'm looking like, if I compare their collegiate careers, Richardson can't hold a candle to what Lamar Jackson has done.
No doubt.
Everything that that's what I'm looking at. I'm just looking at, as I was over the weekend and as I was looking at it yesterday and today, I'm just looking like, man, like this kid, I did not like the kid at all. I don't know if I mean, like you said, he's a project, and I do truly believe he's a project. He's not the top 3 quarterback in this draft. But I look at him just looking like proper representation is that
he
goes
has a lot
long
of
way.
intangibles that's not coachable, man. He has he has the speed, he has the quickness, he has the agility, he has the ability to get out of the pocket and extend plays. He has the arm strength to take the ball down the field and go deep. And to some degree, his accuracy could be questioned, but you've seen glimpses of it. And I think too, when you're talking about drafting a guy, especially this high, you look at the possibilities and the potential that this guy has. And the truth is, they're comparing him to a Dante Culpepper. And I'm not saying it is. That's what they're comparing him to. That's what a lot of pundits are comparing him to that guy. And Dante Culpepper was not a slap.
Culpepper was nice. I like Culpepper.
Yes, but barring injuries,
right?
Culpepper could have been somebody that we talk about for years to come.
But okay, so I look at this
and possibly get in the Hall of Fame.
Right, but I look at this, Kerry, and I say when we're dealing with these athletic quarterbacks, because I mean he did not blow me away. Richardson did not blow me away at the college level for what I seen. Little spurts.
He had some plays in there that made you go, oh.
Okay, I get it, right? And that's what I'm saying. Little spurts here and there. I looked at the Florida State game. That was terrible. I did not like that game. But then I'm like, okay, well, I'm like, dude, like, no, I can't see it. It's hard for me to see what they're seeing.
He got some backyard football in him.
Right. But we got to look at it. Yes, you can go get this outstanding talent that can run, that can, get out the pocket and, can do special things as was it? I think it was Mel Kiper saying he's a top 3 rushing quarterback if he comes out or for the 2023 season. I'm just looking like that's the dumbest thing because we talked about it before. Like, okay, you could be a special talent. You can be elite in running. At the end of the day, you got 11 elite guys that can run. If we didn't, I need everybody to understand something. Defensive ends and defensive linemen were running 4.3s, 4.4s, 4.5s. Okay? Literally, elite guys. You have 11 elite guys on defense. They're going to catch up with him at some point. And when they catch up with him, follow him, hit him, those cost something. Those hits cost something. So when we look at athleticism, yes, it's special, but what is he doing? What does the tape show us? How can he get our team in positions to win football games by getting the ball to our athletes? We don't need him. You can't ask him to come in and look at his athleticism and be like, okay, I need him to come in and be Superman. Because that's what we're looking at with Lamar. We have seen Lamar be Superman.
You can't do that with this guy.
You can't.
You see what Lamar has gone through, and you see that's not productive. It's not sustainable. Rather, it's productive but not sustainable health wise. So, and then you look at Cam Newton in his career as well, with his health as well towards the end of things, and it's not conducive to maintaining a long and healthy career. I think what you have to do, like I said, you just have to get this guy in a position to learn, to figure out the offense, to just get outside of the pocket maybe a little bit, to use his athleticism, do some rollout, do some bootlegs, do some play action passing and things like that. If you want him to come in and start day one, those are the things you have to do. You can't treat him like Justin Fields. He can't have a situation like that because that's not conducive to his success either.
Right.
So I think the best thing for him to do is get drafted wherever he goes. He sits for a year, maybe 2, and then maybe in time he starts. Okay. But I think he has to learn, he has to develop, he has to grow in a lot of areas as a quarterback.
Okay. And I'm in agreement with that. I look at this too, bro. For me, I don't know, bro. Like I think after all of the hype and everything else wears off, does he go top 5? If he does, amazing. If he doesn't, who's going to, because any team that drafts a quarterback top 5, top 10, they're going to need him to play because obviously that was a position that killed their organization. So to put it in the guy's hands that doesn't have a lot of games played at the collegiate level, you're basically saying or I shouldn't say basically, you better have hella coaches. Like they better be hella coaches that can develop him, get him right, and you better put him in the best situation possible. And so, I'm looking at it. Do the Colts trade up? I think the Colts trade up and get Stroud. I really believe they trade and get, the Bears get out of one. Carolina's going to need a quarterback. Just so many teams that's going to trade up into that number one spot. I think a quarterback will go one overall. Can it be him? Will it be Stroud? Will it be, Young? I don't know. But I just look at
I don't think he leapfrogs Stroud. I don't
Stroud
think
is good, man.
I don't care what
He's
you
freaking
do
good.
I don't care what you do at the combine, man. I don't think you leapfrog that guy.
Right.
Just based off the tape, you look at that tape, man, and he's exceptional.
Right.
His arm talent, his ability to extend plays, it's incredible, man. His timing, his accuracy, and things like that, it's incredible. I don't think he leapfrogs him. I just think that a lot of organizations are going to reach because he's maybe a once in a lifetime talent with that height, with that speed, with that agility, with that just rare talent that you just don't come across every so often.
Okay, well, I guess we'll see here. We'll see what next month. So we'll see next month on what they do. I don't think he leapfrog Young either. Young is a good player.
Like I said, I don't think he's the number 3 quarterback in this draft. Right. I don't think he's the number 4 quarterback in this draft. I'm just saying if people are going to take a risk,
right,
then that's understandable because they believe he has some tremendous upside.
Right. I agree. All right. So the NFLPA did a report card. And I think this is the first year they've ever done that where they did a complete eval on all 32 football teams. And I laughed about this because, I look at it and I'm like, man, the players actually, obviously nobody put their name down, but most of the players.
No, I bet you that won't happen.
Exactly. But most of the players voted. So when you do this, how do you like this? Like, I don't know how to take this. I guess it's cool to know. Like we as players, we knew what was going down. I thought, and I tell people all the time, Baltimore for me was by far, I played with Kansas City, I played with Houston, I played with Tennessee. Tennessee was by far the worst. Like they were the worst. Kansas City was pretty bad. They were
the worst as far as what, man? The worst as far as what? Because I played for Tennessee too.
Dude, Kerry. First of all,
that's who I got drafted.
Look, wait. Okay,
they were behind the times.
Yeah, bro,
a lot of things. They were behind
first of all, dude, the meeting rooms, just the facility. It was like a abandoned office building that was like
it was not abandoned. It was not abandoned. It was a nice office building for the early 2000s. Let's just keep it that, right? And I said that they were behind the times.
Bro, that place was abandoned by the water. And so it was abandoned by the water. They put this dirty doggone air bubble outside next to it. That was
back then. That was the thing to do.
Okay, it's still there.
It still was 100 yards, dog. It's some places that don't even have 100-yard bubble.
Kerry, that was 100. Everybody, Kerry, Houston got the same bubble, and it's they got the same bubble. Obviously, the climates are kind of similar with Houston and Tennessee. But dog, I'm talking about in the bubble for Tennessee. I remember going in there and we were practicing one day, and I'm looking like, I'm like, are y'all serious? They had all the weights
on the side. Like, hey man, we used to do workouts in there, dog.
Bro, I'm
get on them ropes, man.
Bro, you cannot run a corner route outright. If you even drift outside that white line, dog, you tearing some equipment up. So I'm looking like this isn't safe. I'm like, bro, I'm like, yo, y'all. I go, this isn't safe. Number one. I go in the weight room. I'm like, yo, we got a weight room. I go in the weight room. It's freaking RTX. Was it RTX or whatever those bands called? They got bands everywhere. I'm like, where do y'all lift weights? I'm like, dog.
Come on, bro.
Harry, I'm dead. J Mac, no, I ain't lying. Him, Michael Griffin. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, bro. No wonder y'all the weakest team.
Griff was there his entire career, man.
And it was
we used to lift, dog. We used to put, man. Look,
lift what? Bands?
No, we didn't have a lot of bands in there during that time. We did that too. We did band work too. But man, we were able to get in there and get on those free weights. Man, they had a lot of free weights, a lot of Olympic weights. We did a lot of Olympic lifts and things like that. Man, I'm telling you, I learned how to be a pro with the Tennessee Titans, man. And it was, we had a great group of leaders during my rookie year.
I mean, okay, I hear you. I'm just telling you my time there.
They're behind the times. No,
they are.
When I went to Baltimore, I was like, oh my goodness.
Exactly. I think for me, like I said, like Baltimore,
the cafeteria was trash. Let's keep it
in Baltimore.
No.
In Tennessee.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Bro, they were paying to cook liquor just to make food.
No, stop, man.
I'm dead sick. Everybody that was making food in the cafeteria were alcoholics. And I was just like,
I'm not condoning this conversation, bro.
Bro, I literally remember going in and I'm looking at Buddy and he drunk as all get out. And I look at him, I'm like, bro, I go, what's good, man? He says, shoot, I'm waiting to get this drink after I feed y'all. I'm going to get this drink. That's how they pay my bills. I'm looking like, yo, are you serious? Like, I'm talking about they got food, they got stuff in the parking lot that they bring in through the side door to cook on that little griddle. And I'm looking like, dog, I'm like, we got cereal over in the, man, it was terrible. It was terrible. The locker room was bad. I remember
locker room was old. Yeah, it was
bro.
Old locker room.
I remember fighting. I remember fighting, and I think my thing went off. We having some technical difficulties.
I can still hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me?
Yeah.
So I remember fighting, saying like, yo, like what in the world is going on? Like, we got to fix this stuff. And, just to see these grades, I think is good. What do you think?
I think the grades make sense, man. I think, too, it also sheds light on what the organizations prioritize and they spend their money on. I think, too, I'd be darned if I'm an athlete and I'm a top-tier athlete and I got to pay an organization for a meal. I should never have to do that. I think that
Am I back? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you.
Let's go.
I can see you.
Hey, Tennessee cut me off, bro.
Rightfully so. Talk about drunks in the kitchen.
Hey, they shouldn't have paid them liquor.
Hey, but man, I think it shows the priorities of the organization and how they need to prioritize the players, man. Right. I think you can't be an organization and not feed the players 3 meals a day, right. Especially with these top tier athletes, man. I think that too, the locker room should be up to date. You shouldn't be having these old rusty lockers. You shouldn't have these old, lockers that are out of date. Especially when you think about programs these kids coming from nowadays. It's some like Alabama, LSU, these locker rooms are phenomenal. Millions of dollars, man. Yeah, they invested millions of dollars in these locker rooms, and then they come into an NFL scene, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
Now this is the pinnacle of your career. Right. These are, you're the top 1%, and you come into a locker room and a weight room and a training facility and meeting rooms, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
We didn't have this at Alabama. We didn't have this at LSU. It was better than this.
Right.
And that to me, I think is a telltale sign of where the organizations need to go and where they need to prioritize their money and their dollars.
Yeah. So, like I said, I like what they did. I remember coming out. I remember going to New England. I took a visit to New England, and I remember walking in, and I'm looking like, oh my gosh, this is like worn down. Like they had pictures on the wall that weren't in frames. Like they just had pictures just on the wall, and I'm like, dude, like this sucks. Like I remember going to Cincinnati, and I will never.
New England has since changed.
they've changed. I remember going to Cincinnati, and I was walking through. The coach and them wanted to take. They took me when I got in that night. They took me to PF Chang's, and so they took me to PF Chang's. We ate. Then we go to the facility in the morning. And I remember the players are in the cafeteria sitting down eating, and Chad Johnson looked at me. He said, "Hey, bro, you don't want to get drafted here." I was like, he said, "Bro, our food's sucking. You got to pay for Gatorades." I was like, "Yo," and I remember Jonathan Joseph. Me and him was talking. He was like, "Bro, like we literally got to pay." He's like, "We can't take Gatorades or water, bottled waters out of the facility. We can't leave here with food. We can't do whatever." And I'm just looking like, man, this is terrible. And thank God,
organization, man.
bro, all of that. And they can't even do that. And so, I think this gives for the fans, this is neat for them to see. For players that have left organizations, this kind of confirms what we said, but we just didn't say out publicly. I think it's pretty cool. I thought Baltimore was by far, Mr. Bushati, I thought they did a phenomenal job. Manny,
that pull up is impressive, man.
Hey,
every
Manny,
time I pull up, man, it's impressive.
Yeah. So okay. I said this on Twitter. Manny set the tone. He set the standard in Baltimore. Manny used to have my doggone, man, he had me a grill. I used to have grilled tuna sandwiches with half a slice of cheese with the what was it, the whatever those chips were in Baltimore, the plain. They're not Lay's, but man, I'm talking about like Manny had everybody's orders. He knew what every player liked. And just they did a phenomenal job putting the staff together. Mm-hmm. And I thought lifting wise, I thought lifting was cool. The training staff, I thought Smitty and them did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
And it's not, I really can't say anything. Tennessee was just by far the worst. Like we had the worst coaches. They were fighting on the sideline, fighting in meeting rooms, holding scotch and cigars in their mouth, didn't know no football, hired friends. I'm talking about, I remember in Tennessee, dude, like we in the locker room and they got women from the front office just walking through. I'm butt booty naked. And I'm going like, yo, who is this lady just walking through the locker room meat watching? And so you got, you got meat watchers all in there. And
Baltimore term.
Hey, meat watcher. So, just things like that. I'm just like that. The standard for the organization on what you want to put into your players, because when you putting quality into players, like you're taking care of them, in the facility, you're going to get that in return on the football field. You got a training staff, you got a strength staff, you got your chaplains, you have just people in the facility, whether it's counselors, you remember, I think Baltimore is probably the best place where we've gone. And I remember Megan just was like,
Philly
yo, Bernard.
Was nice.
Okay.
Was Seattle. Philly was nice, and so was Seattle.
Yeah, man. They had babysitters. Remember in Baltimore, Terrence Cody would bring everybody to bring their dogs in on Friday. You got all these big old dogs. Yeah, man. And I thought that was neat. I thought, being able to bring our kids on Saturday mornings where they had, like 4 or 5 babysitters, the kids running around in the players' lounge and, just take a load off the wives and the girlfriends. Like just I thought that was really cool. Kansas City, we ain't do nothing like that. You had
it was a class organization. Baltimore.
Yeah, Baltimore was class.
I'll also say this, man. Philly did their thing, dog.
Right.
They made some modifications. I think that my second year there, and they had a nice family room. They did a whole bunch of different things that was dope, man.
And Philly got good grades, man. They got some really good grades.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Philly was dope.
I look at this list, and the Arizona Cardinals got an F in treatment of facility or in families, F in nutrition, F in weight room, A- in strength staff, F in training room, a B+ in training staff, and then what else was the rest? Then they got a F in locker room, B+ in travel. I just come on, man. Like when you look at what's been going on in Arizona, I'm not surprised. But
look at Washington too.
Yeah, that has got to be. They got to do a better job. I just really think they got to do a better job. At the end of the day, if you don't have those things, obviously they still paying us a paycheck. We still got to be pros. We got to figure out a way to be pro. And when I was in Tennessee, I remember fighting. I fought so hard because I was like, yo, I went to management and I told them, I said, look, we don't have a steam room. We don't have a sauna. We need that. You have professional athletes that, we need to be able to have these things to help us on the football field. And of course you have guys that drink. I remember a dude that I'm talking about this sucker. He reeked of liquor every single day. But I'm looking like, dude, if we had a steam room or a sauna, he can go out there and sweat that. He can sweat that out of him.
Yeah.
But, I remember fighting. They finally approved it and said, Bernard, we're going to put it in. And they finally put a steam room and a sauna in. And me and Michael Orr, obviously we were in Baltimore together. Man, me and him will go in there because we all kind of went. We will all take turns going into the steam room, going into the sauna.
Was it?
It was fairly decent. They put it in. So they put it in right before you got to the showers. So they, I think they pulled the bathrooms. They came down a little bit on the bathrooms, but I mean, it was just to have to fight for that. And I remember telling J Mac and so many other players, I'm looking like, y'all should have this. Y'all should have this. These are things that we should not have to fight for. And, that's why I tell people, that's why I played on 4 teams. I ain't playing on 4 teams because I wasn't talented. I played on 4 teams because I spoke up and I said things. So, and it was a long way, brother. Hey, man, it goes a long way. And it's a lot of times.
It is again.
Hey, boy, they talking about me, but it's just one of those things, man, where, we got to take care of the players. And J-Mac, I was so happy he got a chance to go to New England and win a championship and see how it was supposed to be done.
Yeah.
So, man.
So Tennessee didn't do a great job. You didn't like Tennessee.
No, I didn't like Tennessee. You carry this thing out. I gotta say something. I gotta fix this. Hey, they didn't tap into my stuff and turn me off.
Man, it's all good, man. Hey, I tell you what, these facilities have to be top notch if you want top notch performance on the field, man. That's just the bottom line. And I think the NFLPA did a great job of recognizing this and bringing this to everybody's attention. And maybe it may turn into something great. Maybe organizations start putting their money where their mouth is and actually, support the players in this. And we see differences on the field. We see differences in organizations' behaviors. We see differences in players' behaviors. And maybe they actually enjoy suiting up and playing on Sundays.
Right. Yeah. Well, let's get it, man. That was a lot of fun, man. We appreciate you. Kerry, I appreciate you, brother. I love you, man.
Yeah.
Man, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure y'all tune in next week. I can't wait to debate more. Y'all listen to us, man. It's gonna go down. Y'all take it easy, man. Peace.